Well, Bennett Kessler filed this story. Next time you settle into a warm, cozy bed and heated home at night, you might want to think about the people who live in tents by the Owens River or near the canal in the Bishop area. As one story goes, one of the homeless made it through a below freezing night in 3 sleeping bags. Well, one local organization that helps and wants to do more is the United Methodist Church in Bishop. Now, Pastor Kathleen Puntar said that the Methodist Church does offer showers Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and that nearly a dozen people use that on a regular basis. Now, on those same days, the church offers a soup kitchen which serves some 75 people regularly. But one need is currently not met. And the pastor said there is a huge need for a cold weather shelter in Bishop. One of our soup kitchen people said he slept in 3 sleeping bags the other night. Now, Reverend Puntar said that most people don't tend to think of homeless people living outdoors in our area, but she assured they are there. The Methodist Church also tries to provide motel rooms, but she said that's expensive, $60 to $70 per night. Now, Puntar said a couple of the motels work with the church on this, but they only provide rooms if someone is ill or has children. Said the pastor, we have also offered sleeping bags and tents. Now, right now, the church does not have facilities for a cold weather shelter. The pastor said she would be delighted to sit down and talk with anyone who would like to get a cold weather shelter going in Bishop. Puntar said that they would have to figure out what hoops to go through, and she repeated, people don't see it, but there is a need. Now, if you are interested in helping, you can call Pastor Puntar at 760-872-7701 or drop by the United Methodist Church, and that's located at 205 North Fowler Street in Bishop. And we're getting some information about a nice story. Mono County Sheriff Ralph Obenberger just took over last month. Apparently, he was traveling home to June Lake last Friday after work when he noticed a Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department vehicle stranded on the northbound lane of Highway 158. Now, the information that we've got from the Mono County Sheriff's Office says that when Sheriff Obenberger made contact with the vehicle, it had 2 female search and rescue volunteers from the Montrose Search and Rescue Team, and they were in town finalizing deals for a Mountain Rescue Association training to be held in March for over 300 search and rescue volunteers. Now, that press release says that the volunteers had already checked out of their hotel, hoping to make it back to Southern California that night when their vehicle just quit on them. The volunteers stated that their agency was contemplating sending a tow truck from the Los Angeles area to help them, and the volunteers would just need to wait until that tow truck arrived. Well, the temperatures obviously have been very cold, in the mid-teens that night, and it was snowing. Sheriff Obenberger told the volunteers that he would have a local tow company, the Lee Vining Shell, tow the vehicle and try to at least make a determination what the problem was. Now, Sheriff Obenberger didn't want to leave the volunteers in the cold, snowy conditions, so he took them back to his house for a safe, warm place to stay while their vehicle was being inspected. Now, Sheriff Obenberger told the volunteers not to worry, that he would pay for the vehicle tow charges if necessary, just to avoid any delays in getting that problem solved. Now, the volunteers stayed with Sheriff Obenberger and his family until the next morning. It was ultimately determined that the vehicle could not be repaired due to some major mechanical issues in the engine. Lee Vining Shell safely transported the vehicle and the volunteers back to Southern California. Volunteers, according to the press release, were shocked with the hospitality they were shown by Sheriff Obenberger and Lee Vining Shell. And Sheriff Obenberger said, this is what people in Mono County do. We take care of things and we get things done. That's a very nice story, and we thank Mono County Sheriff Public Information Officer Jennifer Hansen for that information. And she also passed along this information, noting that late last year, the Mono County Sheriff's Office added its newest member to the Mono Narcotics Enforcement Team, that's known as MONET. Tara is a 4-year-old Belgian Malinois who was trained in narcotic detention. Now, recently, Tara, boy, what a great-looking dog, huh? And her handler, the Mono County Sheriff's Office Narcotic Enforcement Deputy, attended a 200-hour training and certification course in Riverside, and the course certified Tara in narcotic detention. Now, Tara is trained to detect the odors of narcotics, specifically marijuana, heroin, cocaine, ecstasy, methamphetamine, and their derivatives. She is trained to alert to the presence of narcotic odor. Now, her alert consists of a noticeable change in behavior with a final response of barking, biting, or scratching at the location of the odor. Her alerts vary depending on the location of the odor, and Tara is trained on odor strength varying from residual narcotics odors to the odor of pounds of narcotics. Mono County Sheriff's Office pleased to welcome Tara as the newest member of their team, and as we said, that's a great-looking dog. We also want to point out that last week, Mammoth Lakes Police Chief Dan Watson promoted Officer Rick Moberly to the rank of sergeant, and that's to fill the vacancy that was created by the retirement of previous Sergeant Paul Roblos in December. Now, Sergeant Moberly has been assigned as a patrol watch commander. Sergeant Moberly is a 7-year veteran of the Mammoth Lakes Police Department. Prior to joining the MLPD, he spent 1 year with the San Diego Police Department, and before becoming a police officer, he actually worked at Caltrans for 10 years as an engineer, including time as a supervisor. Sergeant Moberly was raised in Ventura and Bishop, and he is married with 2 children. Well, Bennett Kessler filed this report. Los Angeles Department of Water and Power Manager Ron Nichols said in a press release that the utility will replace over 70% of its existing energy supply over the next 15 years. Now, as part of that work, LADWP has approved a local solar program, which includes the Eastern Sierra. Now, the LADWP commissioners recently voted to approve a 100-megawatt program, and that's designed to increase local solar power in Los Angeles and also in our area. The DWP press release says, quote, the solar feed-in tariff set pricing program will allow customers, solar companies, and other third parties to develop solar or other eligible renewable energy products within LADWP's service territory and to sell that power to LADWP at a set price for distribution on the city's power grid, end quote. Now, this program will start as early as February and continue through the end of 2016. DWP manager Nichols said, quote, local solar not only increases the level of renewable energy we provide to customers, but also helps maintain power reliability as we transition away from coal, end quote. Now, DWP will make 20 megawatt allocations available every 6 months until 100 megawatts is subscribed. Projects can range in size from 30 kilowatts to 3 megawatts. Each allocation will set aside a prescribed amount of capacity for small projects. Now, the way it works is LADWP will enter into a standard 20-year contract for each project and purchase the solar power at a set price starting at 17 cents per kilowatt hour for the first 20 megawatts. Now, that price will decline according to a tiered price structure that caps the amount of power that can be reserved at each price. Manager Nichols is quoted as saying that LADWP, quote, opted to set the initial price higher than what it would pay for other renewables to ensure the program has a sufficient incentive to become solid and sustainable, end quote. If you would like to get some more information on that, go to the website ladwp.com/fit, or you can contact the hotline at 213-367-2100 or email fit@ladwp.com. We'll be back with more news.